They want us to think it's inhumane to enforce our borders. Reality check for them. It's inhumane to not enforce our borders. It feels like every night we're talking about new Americans that have died as the result of sanctuary policies. So I ask, when does it stop? When does the left learn that every single country has borders and every single country should enforce them? Joining me right now, a man who confronts this crisis on a daily basis in his home state of Texas, Republican and Border Security Caucus co-chair, Congressman Brian Babin. Welcome back, Congressman.
It's always good to be with you, Trish, and it's unbelievable. They're talking about inhumane treatment. The inhumane treatment is the treatment that these voting American citizens and legal immigrants are getting in these sanctuary counties, cities, and even whole states. And they ought to run these elected politicians that do these kinds of things, or instruct their police departments and county sheriff's offices to not honor these detainers. And the victims are piling up. I just don't understand how this can continue to happen in the United States of America.
Well, it feels like a very deliberate marketing campaign. Really, I mean, they are deliberately, they got their talking points, and they're saying it's inhumane, borders are bad, allegedly. You know, but Congressman, anywhere else you go in the world, right, there are borders. If you don't have the borders, you don't really have a country. You don't really have a system where you can help the people that are within the border. If you were to suddenly say, okay, none of these anymore, we're just going to get rid of them, we're going to have open borders, you want to come here, go for it. What happens to the United States of America?
Our sovereignty, our national security, our everything else, solvency, everything goes down the tubes if we continue on the path we're on. And it just continues to go. We cannot get the Democrats to work across the aisle with us to get rid of the loopholes, to secure this border. And we hear the presidential candidates in the Democratic Party, they just continuously say they want to have free medical treatment for these illegals. Sanctuary policies are just, and want to legalize undocumented crossing of our borders. I think we're up to about $140 billion a year costing the American taxpayer in this country to medicate, incarcerate, and educate a lot of these folks that are coming in here illegally. I believe in legal immigration, but the hypocrisy of these Democrats is unbelievable.
It's a shame. It's really a shame. This is the one place where actually they could have come to some kind of agreement on. They really could have, because don't forget, the Democrats actually used to be all for borders when it served their purpose, but now, you know, they just want to fight President Trump on anything and everything. I do want to get your reaction to a story that came out earlier today and actually was just retracted, believe it or not, by Reuters. The headline, sir, was U.S. has world's highest rate of children in detention, UN study. Well, they retracted it because it turns out the story was done in 2015. Do they just not want to admit that that was a level that actually happened under President Obama?
Well, you know what, Trish? I think that Bernie Sanders just trotted that thing out again just recently. Or maybe knowingly. I don't know. I'm not trying to get in his head, but I can tell you that 100,000 children detained. You know, and then it turns out it was during the Obama administration. So the hypocrisy is just it's just completely baffling to see this types of things.